I wanted to do a comparison of a Ludlum Model 19 and a Ludlum Model 12. Well, in this case, it will also be a package opening, since I have a Ludlum Model 19 on hand, but I don't have a Model 12S on hand. So, might as well do a package opening. We'll see how well this seller shipped it. In this case, it's very well labeled, so I'm expecting a good packing. And I haven't had to encounter copper staples yet, so I'm hopeful. Maybe some noise now. Well, newspaper. Better than packing peanuts, I guess. I'd rather take newspaper over packing peanuts. Packing peanuts is messy as hell. They like to get all over the place, and they're hard to clean out. A good bubble wrap on climate. And these 2-packs are nice. Keep them if you resell. Works better than standard bubble wrap. Well, trying to get my tripod to move. They work better than standard bubble wrap minus the big shit. So I'm gonna open this and then come back. Quick note, not many people do it. Shipping with handles off. Painter's tape's nice because it don't leave very much to stick to the paint. Makes a very tight, easier to package shape. Alright. It was shipped without its handle attached. For the purpose of the video, I'm not going to attach the handle. Not much reason to. The package itself is what's important. This one has its standard. Ooh, nice. It has feet. This one has its standard wear. Now the can looks like it was repainted at some point, because it doesn't meet the texture of the top paint. Now, top paint is always smoother, but on these old ones, they follow a similar texture. Also, there's a slight color difference, but whoever repainted it didn't feel like repainting the edge, and it has signs of edge wear, like most of these units do. In this case, it was last calibrated in 2012 for operation at 800 volts, and its count per minute to milliar is what Ludlum usually says would be its calibration, pulse calibration point. Is CHP consultants on everything? Well, it's shipped with batteries. I hate it when that happens. Battery well is clean though, so I'm not going to complain too hard. Let's open it, make sure nothing got knocked loose in shipping. And it looks operational as it sits. I don't see anything that would say it isn't. Seller said it worked, so we'll be the judge of that. But usually if a Ludlum passes battery check, it'll work. Good strong battery test. Maxed out my ×1. Alright, so it's sitting somewhere near, what is that? Sitting somewhere near, well, 100, so 300, 200, 100. Somewhere near 40 micrometer. I'm not used to this old scale. Do sound test. See how loud this guy is. Yep, loud. Now it does respond to background, but for the heck of it, we'll do a source test. This is only a quarter microcurie cesium-137 source, but it's enough to test operation on these, especially since it has an internal scintillation detector. And it's moving the needle just fine. Now for comparison, here's a model 19. Now it's not a old 19. It is a newer, but it allows you to see a similar features that, well, the 19 shares separately from the 12S. They are pretty much or exactly the same size. The only difference is the old cans are usually just a very tiny bit smaller. Now the 19s have the feature of they usually go to 5 millar an hour, while the 12S's only go to 3 millar max. Otherwise, with the same detector, they're both a sodium iodide scintillator, 1 inch. 1 inch by 1 inch, so 25 millimeter by 25 millimeter sodium iodide scintillator, internally housed. In this case, this one has a nice centering indents for the center of the detector. This one does not. The main thing that these 19s have different from the 12S's is they usually, I see more commonly on 19s, new and old, have color-coded scales or times ranges, and in this case it's not even a times range. They're labeled at the max of what each range would do. So in this case, the lowest is 0 to 25 UR, and then the next is 0 to 50, and then you jump back down and you do 0 to 250, and so on until you get up to 0 to 5,000 milR. Did I say UR? It's milR, but 0 to 5,000 milR, or, well, no, fuck. I was right. 0 to 5,000 UR, pardon me. So you total it out at 5 milR, versus these will only go to 3 times 1,000, 3 milR. In this case, this one is calibrated. I don't know if it's a thing between the old ones or the new ones. I can't remember. But the older same age Model 19 I had still also had a bat function off to the side, versus in line with the dial. Not dial, with the knob. The 19s also usually come with a light. In this case, mine I modified because I wanted a switch, and might as well. I took out a micro incandescent and put in an LED, which is brighter and will not run down my battery as heavily as a micro incandescent, so it facilitates the switch. Also, the new meters carry a similar top plate to a few other models. So this is actually a knockout point that I put an LED in, and it is one that I'm going to be modifying to use the LED as an alarm and or background monitor, such as the 194, 195s? Because I haven't found one yet, and I don't have the money to buy one new. Alright, in this case, this one's doing a pretty good job at sitting in and around 100 milR, and this one being calibrated most recently is sitting about about 5, between 5 and 10 milR an hour. Now I don't know if, wait, UR. I don't know why I keep saying milR. They're in UR. So they are off. I trust this one more since it was last calibrated, most recent. In this case, this year, the calibration data isn't stapled onto the side because I'm not as worried about keeping my meters marked with calibration. Keep paper documents of that. Internally, they're essentially the same, minus Ludlum changed a few things on the newer variants. And that is, of course, they're always changing the circuitry. And the way the detector is attached and the housing is made actually facilitates easier maintenance and also makes it a little more rugged. The Model 19s were usually for the industrial industries such as scrap and general surveying. Well, the 12Ss were usually used in medical fields, so ruggedness isn't a major priority on the 12S, although you can see on the older ones, comparison wise, I got these small stick handles. That's alright. I prefer the thick handle, but stick works. There's not much else to say about them. I will potentially get a video when I start digging into this one. I want to see how the crystal looks. This one has a crystal that is glued to a PMT, and this one should have a crystal that is just mated to a PMT. They're running into issues with moisture intrusion, and Ludlum changed it to a glued to PMT crystal, which fixed some of their issues but made it a lot more expensive to replace a broken detector. Because this one you can replace a crystal or a PMT, this one you can replace just the PMT crystal assembly. I believe Ludlum actually went back to crystals mated to PMTs versus glued to PMTs for the purpose of your PMT dies, you can replace a PMT. Your crystal dies, you can replace a crystal. Yeah. Any questions about either of them, I will answer in the comment sections. I need to get better at my editing and definitely overlay of voice. But that's just a quick package opening. In this case, the old ones, also quick note, old ones have a gain set on the top side, while the new ones have gain set under a cal plate. Because they didn't really have a cal plate to stick it under, is what I assume. Theoretically, they could stick it up here. There's nothing right there, and they could recess it like the other ones, but whatever reason, Ludlum put it up there. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. See you next time.